Hi, my name's Kirsten Foss and I'm a business coach for the spa industry. So today I want to talk about no-shows and latecomers to appointments. This is so frustrating as spa owners. I want to talk about what is possibly going on underneath this and how you can handle it with grace. So when you strip down the salon and spa industry, what we're actually selling is time. And this is what's so frustrating about no-shows and latecomers is that once the time is gone, we can't sell it again. Unlike a piece of retail item, which we do still have time to sell. So we're losing money. It feels disrespectful. It puts our schedules out of whack sometimes. And it's really easy to get up in arms, get really angry, sometimes say things we probably shouldn't say to clients, maybe in a tone or the actual words. So I really want to talk about the stuff that's happening underneath and deal with it from there. So this week I posted an image on my Facebook page by Timber Hawkeye, and it says, "What you put up with, you end up with." And this is very, very true in all aspects in our lives. But I was more thinking that this so has to do with dealing with no-show clients and people who show up late. Now, in my opinion, the real issue here is boundaries. And what I've found is that as an entrepreneur, your business will be your best life coach that you could ever ask for or pay for. And what I mean by that is that stuff will come up in your business that frustrates you, that makes you sad, that makes you angry. And it's really an opportunity for you to turn inwards and see what is actually going on within you, why you're feeling the way you are, and when you're looking at leadership and accountability, what pieces of this can you be accountable for? Now, as far as no-shows and latecomers and boundaries, this has to do with putting boundaries in place for your clients. Now, we typically have things like a cancellation policy, but how often are you actually sticking to it? And in your cancellation policy, do you actually have anything in there that spells out the consequences for what will happen if they no-show or they show up late for their appointment? And then it's actually sticking to following up with it. Now, here's the rub. That we know we're supposed to do this, but the problem is, and this is where that kind of personal looking inward and a little bit of personal growth may be needed, is usually when there's boundary issues within our business, there's usually some boundary issues for our own personal selves. Our business is just simply an extension of what our vision is. So it's really no surprise that if we have some difficulties with boundaries, and I'm not excluded from this. Dealing with boundaries has been one of my life lessons. When to put up boundaries, how hard to draw the line, all of those kinds of questions. So when you are dealing with stuff about no-shows and latecomers, I'd like you to think about your own, how you deal with your own boundaries in your personal life. Now, if you have a hard time with boundaries, it just goes to say that it's going to probably be difficult with your business boundaries, whether it's for your staff or whether it's for a client that is chronically showing up late or not showing up at all. So how do you deal with this with grace? I have a really great resource for you, and there's an author by the name of William Ury. He wrote the book called The Power of a Positive No. And I find that for women in particular, we have a hard time saying no. I'm not saying all of you do, but I'm saying a lot of us do. And it feels hard, especially in the spa industry, because we're all about making people feel good. So when we have to put our foot down and say, here's the line, you've crossed it, this is what happens, it feels really, really gross. And you know what happens when things feel gross? We tend to want to divert our attention away from it. So maybe what we do is we go on a Facebook group and we rant to our husbands or our team, but ranting doesn't change anything. The only thing that will change something is if you decide to put some really clear boundaries up for yourself and your business. Doesn't mean you have to be mean, doesn't mean you have to be quote unquote a bitch about it. It just means that you need to set some boundaries and then you need to stick with them. So if you have a hard time with boundaries, I really suggest that you read William Urey's book, The Power of a Positive No. He gives really easy, it's a really easy read. He gives a really easy formula in a way on how to say no in a positive way so that both parties are walking away feeling good about it. So I wanted to dive a little deeper into William Urey's book, The Power of a Positive No. So in case you didn't catch that before, here's his book. You can screenshot that. Now, this book just isn't for business. I'm telling you, this works like a charm in your personal life as well. And he's got really great strategies in here. Now, I want to talk about one, I want to share one strategy with you, and it's a yes, no, yes strategy that he talks about in this book. And I want to frame it in the story of what we're talking about, no-shows. So with the yes, no, yes, the first part is a yes to yourself. It's an internal dialogue. It's saying yes to your personal boundaries, yes to your business boundaries, yes to your cancellation policy. The second piece is the no, and this can be internal as well. So in this case, it would be, no, she can't just rebook with me again because I have a cancellation policy. Now, the third part is the yes, and this is where you do want to talk to your guest about it. And it's a yes, I can rebook you, I can reschedule you, but I will need to have a credit card to hold your appointment. Now, they may get upset. I feel that's okay. If they get upset and they don't want to do that, quite frankly, that's not the client you want in your business anyways. So what you're suggesting as a solution to her behavior is it's positive and it's fair. So you'll need to decide for yourself how you're going to deal with that. Sometimes you just need to have write out some scripts for yourself. Sometimes you have to play it out in your mind a little bit and what you're gonna say and how you're gonna say it. But I really encourage you to use this kind of technique to finish with that yes, so that it does feel like an empowered no to your client. Now, there's much more to the book than just the yes, no, yes, so I still really want you to get that book and read it, but I wanted to give you an example of how to give an empowered no. Thanks for joining me, and if you have any comments you want to talk about as far as boundaries and no-shows, please feel free to leave a comment.